you've started by saying choose your input. I'm just interested on your thoughts around choosing input, because you just said it yourself, like so much of your input is your own input. Your self-talk, your own narrative in your head is huge, isn't it, guiding your beliefs and behaviors, as much as whether you read the news before bedtime. Big mistake. How do you manage that self-talk? Like, are you so conditioned now that it's really positive generally on, a large proportion of the time? How do you manage that self-talk when it slightly goes down a negative route?
Yeah. Some of it for me is automatic. Guardrails, like G.K. Chesterton said, before you pull out a fence post, know why it was there in the first place. Right.
Yeah.
And our culture is all about removing fence posts and saying, hey, you can go do what you want. And then bad things happen because that guardrail was there. And so you kind of have to have the guardrails. You kind of have to decide, okay, so why don't I want to entertain negative thoughts or negative directions, right? Because it's the story you tell yourself. Are you guys familiar with Ambien?
No. Is anyone here? No.
It might be a different name. It's a medication to help you sleep.
Ambien, he's saying, Mark.
Ambien. It's a sleep aid. And so people who have insomnia will take it. Anytime you hear of an international flight where some celebrity does some crazy thing in the flight, it's usually alcohol and Ambien mixing. Okay, it's usually that. And there's some pretty major side effects to Ambien, which is the primary one is sleepwalking. So you get up in the middle of the night. I was down in Houston visiting a company, and I went into the vice president's office, and his arm was in a sling. And I said, what happened to you? And he said, I took Ambien before bed and I forgot that I'd already taken it. So I took another one. And in the middle of the night, he said, I walked into my swimming pool, which was empty. And he fell and broke his shoulder. And so here's the interesting thing. When you take Ambien, all the sleep studies, when they do the brainwave sleep studies, you only get 17 extra minutes of sleep with the drug. So why do they prescribe it? Because its number one property is amnesia. So what happens is you take the pill at 8 o'clock at night, and then the next thing you know, your alarm goes off at 7 in the morning.
You think you've had a great night.
You don't remember anything. So you think, wow, I had 11 hours of sleep. I feel fantastic. And so your mind believes it, and you operate as if you had 11 hours of sleep. Meanwhile, the Ring video and the Circuit TV, you're cooking a big meal at 3 in the morning. You're mowing the yard at 5 in the morning. I mean,
or breaking your arm.
Yeah. So, it should be illegal. But because your brain totally believes that's how you operate, right? You go through the day as if you had 11 hours of sleep. And so I was Dennis Waitley, who has written a number of books in this area. He said another powerful thing. He wrote a new book that came out. I think it's called The New Psychology of, I can't remember the whole title of it, came out last year. And he said this, he said, turn your affirmations into confirmations. So an affirmation is, hey, I'm aspiring to this, right? I can do this. A confirmation is kind of one little tick up that says, I've already got it. I've already got it. I just got to recognize, claim, develop, and use it.
Yeah.
Right. And there's a different level of confidence in that.
Yeah. It's another level.